This year's scenario: terrorists have stormed the Capital Trust Bank building and have taken hostages.
Voice.
So now I'm fat and stressed.
What?
How much does Ray make fun of my cooking? Don't look at him.
Last 2% is ours to get. That's why they leave it in the milk.
Top news stories of the week. Time to find out once again with Megan Olson and News of the Week on the Al Travis Show.
We love having her on. Megan, how are you doing?
Good. Happy to be back. I'm in obviously for folks on the radio, you can't see, but I'm in a different location this week. So we're a traveling news show.
And we appreciate you very much doing this bit with us. I'm just wondering if I had enough time to move up the charts. What happens is Megan takes the 5 biggest news stories of the week and we discuss them here. Any chance the Al Travis Show busted the top 5 yesterday?
I think it did, because you had you've seen it here first kind of interview with Senator Hoffman, which was so great to hear him, back speaking very well. I mean, he
was joking. He was
very lighthearted, same kind of, fun, jovial personality. And yeah, I think you definitely made it into the top.
That was so weird in that I know that Blois Olson's deal, The Take, put something in the afternoon lunch take, whatever it's called, and it said, the first interview with Hoffman. And so there's a little blurb on there, and that was fine, and linked to the show. But then, as far as I can tell, 3 television stations covered this stupid thing, because I've been shocked that many people are up doing it, but I was getting screenshots from friends. Oh, you're on 5, you're on 9, or whatever. And what a lack of news day. John Hoffman has been coming on the show for 4 years. Yes, he had some terrible things done to him, but he was always going to be back. We just need to know when. And then when he got on, literally out behind the scenes stuff, said, John, what is it we can talk about? He goes, I really can't talk much about the case because
it's active.
Lawyers are everywhere. And I said, that's fine. I think people just want to hear John. I'm calling him 4 Bits Hoffman from now on. 4 Bits. If you listened to the show yesterday, I got lost and I felt horrible. I couldn't remember, but the producer came up right after it and said he wanted to call himself like 50. I said, how many other people have lived through 9 shots? And he said 50 Cents, the singer.
Oh yeah, the rapper. Yeah.
Yeah, the rapper. So he's a music guy, so he wants to be called 50 Senators. And I'm like, that kind of doesn't work. But what's the deal? And I couldn't remember what 2 bits was called. 2 quarters, what makes a quarter? And I could not remember for the life. And the producer said, it's a bit. 2 bits is a quarter. I don't know. That's way beyond your time, right? You're looking at me like I got a hole in my head.
Yep.
2 bits is a quarter. So we call him 4 Bits Hoffman. And someone says, why 4 bits? Because 4 bits is 50 cents. The last guy who survived 9 shots. I think that works. 4 Bits Hoffman.
I love it. We'll see if it catches on. And maybe instead of Senator Hoffman, we can just have that be
call
the new
4
nickname.
Bits.
But
I love it. I'm going to get it. I asked him, I'm not sure if we're going to get on the regular yet. I don't, it's a health thing. You'll decide if he's on the regular.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm going to get that guy who does the announcer stuff to do one with 4 Bits Hoffman. We're going to make it stick. I promise. He's going to get back to the Senate. Everybody's going to call him 4 Bits.
Well, and he did also, record a video and sent that into the Minneapolis DFL had their big convention over the weekend. So he did that. And then obviously came on your show, it was great. It was great to just not talk politics and to listen in, just hear him, joke around and he is
talk
such
about
a good
it
a little bit about, I can't have cigars, the nurse said, and I know that's a big thing for you. So probably a little bit of a shot to the heart, but
we'll have cigars. The nurses will fade away and then we'll be good. We'll be back. So anyway, that was a fun thing. It was weird to me, the number of people that were taking screenshots of their TV and sending it in, and all because Hoffman spoke. And I think people really needed to hear it. I mean, he was going to come back out. I don't think there's any shock that he came on the program. But that people need to hear that he was laughing and joke. Yeah. Yep. So what are the big news stories this week if it wasn't for Hoffman on Al
Well,
Travis?
I would say it's probably Senator Mitchell's trial. And last week, I know we were talking about it. Things were kind of, teed up. Last Monday, they had jury selection and all that. And you and I had both kind of joked, well, we don't think this is going to wrap up within the week.
Yeah.
Well, it sure did. The jury deliberated for only 3 hours on Friday, found her guilty on both counts. So felony burglary and then possession of the burglary tools as well. She's convicted and she is taking her sweet time to resign. She's
Well,
not
we're going to talk about that
resigning right away.
We'll talk about that because that kind of teed me off as well. But let's get to. I was hoping big time that because she said from the beginning that once you hear my side, you'll understand and it'll be great. This whole idea that it was a welfare check. What are you talking about? Anyway, I was really hoping upon hope. But the second the two attorneys, get up to do the opening arguments or the opening setup, and her attorney came up and said, it really was a welfare check. I'm like, this is going nowhere. There's no way at 4:30 in the morning, dressed in black, flipping through a window is helping your, Alzheimer parent feel better about them. There's just no way.
Well, and even Senator Mitchell in her own testimony talked about how she went into her mother's room and listened to her stepmother's room and listened to her breathe a little bit. And I don't know, there were just weird things that clearly didn't add up. The jury saw right through it. Only 3 hours that they deliberated on this, but.
So now this senator, who was a lieutenant colonel in the National Guard or something, I can't imagine she can do that for the service anymore. So she's lost that. She lost this gig. I think she was a lawyer before all that. I don't hold me to that. But anyway, she's running along and this happens. And she has put her family through 15 months of, don't worry, kids, it's not me. It's not me. I never did it to everybody. Every human they know is discussing this behind their kids. I can't imagine those poor children. So then to add insult to injury, she comes out with her lawyer and says, give me a couple of weeks. I want to wrap a few things up.
I got 4 things I need to get done is what the lawyer said about the senator, that she needs to wrap up her priorities, complete constituent services. She needs health insurance for her son. She needs to transition staff.
Oh, and get an extra check.
What? Yeah.
See that? I don't know why we have given such deference to this young. Well, I do. It's 34, 33. For the last 15 months, her side of the fence has not pushed her to resign, did not do the right thing. I think with the same hopes I had. She must have some reason. She's not, she's not Fruit Loops here. She's got some. Well, she was. And now they're stuck. So now it's like, well, she's going to retire. Well, we could have a quick special session, boot her out, not get. Well, we don't want to do that because the Republicans, once we're at 33, have as much power as us. So they're going to let her resign in 2 weeks. Why is no one standing up and saying, no, if you got charged with, who else gets charged with burglary gets to go home?
Well, and it's odd to me that her lawyers are basically saying, well, we never really talked about this. We wanted to be hopeful. We wanted to think that we could win. We didn't want to dwell on, well, what would happen if we lost and what are next steps. So we just never talked about it. We glossed right over it. Now we're dealing with the issue. And
that is not the lawyer's job. She is a full-grown adult with children. 15 months ago, you snuck into somebody's house and you got arrested. You had the cops there. You have to figure your life out.
Mm-hmm.
You had 15 months of taking checks you shouldn't have probably taken. You're now here and I need a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Who gets that right?
It's adding insult to injury. I mean, I think we kind of all saw the writing on the wall. We were all prepared, for this trial to happen. Well, we were prepared for it to happen 6 months ago, but kept getting delayed, which is a whole other thing. Your whole right to a speedy trial. This doesn't feel very speedy. But we all knew this was coming. I would think, you'd want to prepare for either outcome, whatever happens, just so you're, ready to go. But yeah, adding a couple weeks, getting another paycheck, claiming that you have to wrap up XYZ priority. It's a little bit fishy to me. And
I have this whole thing I want to test you on, because I'm looking at, so now you have the Mitchell seat we're going to have a special election for. The Hortman seat, obviously, a special election for. You have the Eichhorn seat, which is a special election. Senator Anderson, who died yesterday, great guy, by the way, been on the show, love the guy. He passes, so there's going to be a special election. In the take today, they brought up, we've already had 3 this year. I can't imagine the last time there have been 7. And the other 3, I'm going to quiz you when we get back. It's SD60. Was that the guy who won, but he didn't live in the district?
Live there. Yeah.
Okay. So that was one. HD40B? I don't know. And Senate District 6. They say we've had 3 already before these 7. I'm like, this is how bad this has been. I can't even keep track in 1 year how many special elections there have been. We'll talk about it with Megan after this on the Al Travis Show.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit americanexperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
Dust from gravel roads and driveways does more than make your car dirty inside and out. It gets down into your lungs, and it's bad for your health. Now there's an environmentally friendly solution for your dust problems. It's called DustLock. DustLock can control all your summer dust problems with just one application. Protect your vehicle and your lungs. Learn more at dustlock.com.
Easily offended? The Al Travis Show is not for you. The Al Travis Show. Sides are welcome.
This is got to be going. Well, we've been talking, but it's just the craziest session of all time. Were you able to find the three?
Yes,
I found him.
I was. And I had
Okay.
to remember because I just feel like this keeps happening. So I'm like, okay, let's go back. Because the first one was in January. That was Senator Dietzig who passed away.
That's right.
Then you've got the challenge up in Roseville of the guy that didn't really live there. So that happened.
Didn't quite live there. And
You've
then the
got
Eichhorn. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we've already had 3 special elections. You now have to have one, of course, for Hortman, Mitchell, and Anderson. And that doesn't stop. This Omar Fatah, the senator that's running for the mayor of Minneapolis and got endorsed. Well, should he win that?
That's a November election, yeah.
And yeah, another one. And then Representative Amanda Hemmingsen-Jaeger, if she wins that to replace, she's a rep. If she wins that to replace Mitchell, because she's the only one who put her hat in the ring thus far, another special election. And then it comes out today. Is this a shocker? Governor says, we're not having a special session. He hasn't, no one can keep track of the teams.
I mean, yeah, how can you? We have to focus on filling up these other seats. But yeah, I think this has got to go down in history as, I don't know, the most turnover and special elections we've ever had in Minnesota, if not the country.
Well,
I mean, it's been, and it's all over the board, you know, between obviously burglary charges, unexpected deaths, passing away from cancer, whatever
it's
Osborne did, that unspeakable things. Like it's
Oh.
just all over the place of what is happening.
and it's what's got to drive folks crazy. I mean, you got the governor who doesn't even know if he wants to be the president, he wants to be the governor again. I mean, he's got all this stuff. And then you look at his daily worksheet. Well, let's get this special session done. Well, we went into special session. Okay, then the shooting. Well, it's too soon. We can't do it now. He wanted a special session. He wanted to say, Orange Man cost us $1 billion. I had to come save Minnesota. And he can't even do it because no one knows what the number count's going to be.
Yeah,
It's too tight.
Yeah.
It's too bad for him.
Well, and it's funny you do bring up Omar Feta, who is running for Minneapolis mayor, which to me, it seems a little bit weird to go from senator to mayor of Minneapolis, but I guess mayor of Minneapolis maybe is a more prestigious title, but that race is heating up because the DFL had their convention over the weekend, and boy, oh boy, did they all melt down. I guess delegates left. There were a lot of angry people. There was, people trying to kick other people out for supporting XYZ candidate. Mayor Fry is a, 2-term incumbent. He was not endorsed. He's now challenging that through the state party. I never thought I'd be, so interested in what's happening in Minneapolis, but it's crazy.
I generally don't care, but I did read this story that in 17 and 21, Fry did not get the endorsement either to get the mayor's job, but because they do that weird ranked choice voting, so he's won both times. So Fatah can't even think he's got this thing in the bag, because if Fry is your second choice on all those ballots, he could end up winning this thing.
Well, and
it's a little weird.
I think that there is kind of this idea that's been happening, something that Republicans are talking about, which is this whole caucus process. Some people are not happy with it. They want to kind of move into more just an open primary system. The DFL has been kind of quiet about that. They seem to think that, we got our conventions handled. We're good to go. Now that tune is changing just a little bit. It seems like Democrats are also coming out and saying, caucusing, it just isn't it anymore. Maybe we do need to be an open primary state. So I'll be interested to see what happens here in Minnesota. I do support the open primary system. I do think it's a better system, but I don't know. Does Minnesota move in the direction to just completely scrap
everything they've done?
The POU system we currently have?
I don't know that I wouldn't enjoy that. I get this right now, very small amount of our people are running things and we don't even know it. But what I don't understand is we have these now phones, we have all this stuff. How do you not have an app to vote in this thing? What happened?
How does it take 2 hours? Yeah, for one round of balloting.
Well, because their computer thing went down. As I understand, they went to the point that if you had your little badge that let you in the room because you're an actor, they're holding it up and counting it. It's like, what is this Little House on the Prairie voting? How is that a thing? And so that's why Fry left, and then he left because he wanted to be a contested thing because he was going to win it. It's jungle warfare in the political part, both sides. And I'll tell you what, the Republicans aren't sitting any better with the way they run things. I don't think caucusing would bad. One other thing I think we need to talk about, and maybe it percolated up, Pratt joining the CD2 race. Are you happy with that? I like him. I think he's a good guy. At least there's a name I think people will know and can get behind.
It's interesting. I was honestly kind of shocked to see him throw his hat in the ring because I figured Kistner would kind of be, the shoe-in. He took a little bit of a break last go around. Joe Tarab was the candidate, but Kistner was deployed, I think, overseas, which was part of the reason why he couldn't run. I figured Republicans would really rally behind him, but now we've got Pratt, who's a sitting state senator. He's been there for, I think it's 4 terms. He's been there a long time. Before that, he was on the school board, lives in the Prior Lake area. I think it's going to be a battle between Pratt and Kistner for this endorsement. Again, caucus process. Who knows what will happen? But
I'm just, I've been complaining that the Republicans just don't have enough people in the mix. We see people getting out
in CD2.
Well, CD2, there's the job everybody wants. But who do we really have for the Senate? Who do you have lining up to be governor? We just, Duckworth got out, Coleman got out. We get people getting out. I just am scared not of people are getting in. That this is going to take, in my opinion, one of these private or service members.
You're getting a lot of great candidates all for one seat. Let's spread the love,
Yeah.
Why not figure out, let's have some behind the scenes conversations. Oh, you run for this, I'll run for that sort of thing. It seems like CD2 really is just the place for all these, I would say, pretty decent candidates right now.
I don't disagree, but that's the same thing for the governor's race. You sit here and you watch Lieutenant Governor going up against Smith, for the Smith seat. Ellen, the Congresswoman. You got
Andy
Lieutenant
Gregg.
Governor, you going up, those two going up against each other for that Senate seat, when in reality, I think the Lieutenant Governor would love to be governor, but the governor won't decide if he's in or out, so they're all huddled up in this section saying, we'll go for this one.
We're in
It's a
limbo
little-
in a
Oh, it
lot of
is.
ways here in Minnesota right now.
We're out of time. I got to fly. Appreciate you being on, Megan.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Maybe next week we'll have some concrete dates for special elections. So we'll keep talking about it here on the Al Travis Show, talking about Megan's news interview, the top Minnesota news stories of the week.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out your conservative values?